Think about the last time you walked through the bright aisles of a high-end department store. Someone sprays a glass bottle and the air fills with a heavy, complex perfume. Now compare that to the produce section of a grocery store, picking up a fresh orange. Your nose might say those two experiences are completely different, but they share a surprising secret. The sweet smell of a ripe banana and the sharp citrus of an orange are both caused by specific chemical compounds called esters. Pentyl acetate gives us that banana smell, and octyl acetate gives us the orange. Think of an ester like two simple chemical Lego blocks. We have a red block, which chemists call a carboxylic acid, and a blue block, called an alcohol. When you snap those two specific pieces together, you get an ester. Nature produces the complex aromas of flowers and fruits by arranging these simple, interchangeable chemical building blocks in different patterns. If nature can build these blocks, so can we. Imagine doing a little microscopic cooking. We start our lab recipe by taking a dry glass test tube and mixing in salicylic acid, our red block, with methanol, which acts as our blue alcohol block. If you just let them sit there, nothing happens. They need a little encouragement to connect. So we add a few drops of strong sulfuric acid and gently heat the mixture in a water bath. That heat provides the exact burst of energy needed to force our two blocks together. As you can see in this diagram, when the red and blue blocks finally click into place, the connection is so tight that it squeezes out a tiny leftover piece. That discarded piece is just a single, simple molecule of water. This chemical equation shows exactly where that water comes from. Researchers built the alcohol using a traceable heavy oxygen 18. After forcing the blocks together, the heavy oxygen stayed inside the new ester, proving the water was squeezed from the outer edges. Once our new mixture cools down, we pour it into a mild base to neutralize that harsh acid we used earlier. And the moment we do, a strong, sweet fragrance rises straight out of the test tube. We took two odorless liquids, applied a little heat, and created a perfume. By safely forcing specific chemical pieces to click together in a lab, we can perfectly recreate the smells of nature on demand. But building a molecule is only half the fun. Because an ester is made of snap-together pieces, we can use other chemicals to deliberately swap those parts out, or even break them completely apart. Pouring ammonia into the mix introduces a green block that knocks the blue alcohol off, taking its place to create an amide. Alternatively, introducing a powerful metal hydride acts like a sledgehammer, smashing the entire ester apart into simple, separate primary alcohol blocks. Understanding these molecular shapes allows us to move beyond making perfumes. By knowing how these pieces fit together, we can choose to swap them or break them down, transforming esters into different types of chemicals, like amides or simple alcohols. We do run into one practical problem in the lab. The esters we build almost always look exactly like water, just a clear liquid swirling in a flask. How do we prove we actually built the correct molecule without relying entirely on our noses? First, we take a few drops of our mystery liquid and mix it with a nitrogen-rich solution called hydroxylamine. We add a little bit of a base to the test tube and let the mixture gently boil for a couple of minutes. Next, we let it cool off. We add some hydrochloric acid to balance things out, and for the final step, we drop in a tiny amount of a chemical containing iron. The reaction is immediate. If our invisible ester is truly floating in that tube, the clear liquid flashes into a deep, brilliant red-violet color. This structural diagram shows exactly why that vivid color appears. The chemical reactions force the ester to transform into a shape that acts like a claw. That newly formed claw grabs tightly onto the iron atom, locking it into a highly specific shape. It is that exact, stable iron claw structure that reflects the vibrant red-violet light back to our eyes. We don't have to guess if our recipe worked. Chemistry gives us the tools to make the invisible visible. We can turn a subtle smell into a definitive, brightly colored fingerprint. Which brings us right back out of the lab and into the sunlight, standing in an orchard surrounded by the smell of ripe fruit. Every burst of citrus, every sweet piece of candy, and every bottle of expensive perfume you have ever encountered is simply a specific combination of those same few molecular building blocks. By learning how these tiny chemical pieces click together, break apart, and reveal themselves, we gain the ability to recreate and understand the flavors and fragrances of our world.